Hey, good morning. I think the 10th, maybe, August 2019. Old John, Southern West Virginia, Twist the World News. You watch the news and this Jeffrey Epstein, he turns up dead. They just so much wrapped around it, so many big names, millionaires and billionaires and politicians and who knows what all. It wrapped around Jeffrey's little child trafficking Lyoda Express and what was it they called it, Island, Orgy Island or something or other, and all this stuff going on, man. A lot of big names involved, big names, a lot of money involved. And it's hard to tell who all and what all is involved in this stuff. And, you know, we may end up with, maybe it was suicide, maybe it wasn't. But that's just basically the facts of it. You know, we know that the Clintons, their names have been up who knows how many times, and they've 40, 50 some names that already have been out, that known that people died mysteriously around the Clintons. Yeah, you know, so it's hard to tell, you know. Maybe it's up front, maybe it's not. But anyway, it's a headliner. It'll be a headliner for a few days or a while. Just so much stuff, man. And then you got the liberals and the socialists. They want to trying to cut off the voice of the honest and the upright, because they don't want the shames and the disgraces that have been attached to them to come out in front of everybody. So they want to cut off the voice of those that'll speak truth and honor. Mitch McConnell, he does pictures or video of something of these people getting around his home and, you know, protesting around his private home and stuff, all this stuff. And then Twitter turns around and they cut Mitch McConnell, they censor him, they cut his thing off in Twitter. These people are protesting around his home. It reminds me, you know, I get posts from people. I mean, you know, replies from people when I put out my little Twisted World News. You know, I'm called troll and this and that and whatever. And I'll admit some places I put my little comments and stuff, you know, was it a little inappropriate for that place. You know, they say, you know, you're not relevant to what the post is or stuff. But, you know, if these people were more honest, these liberals and socialists and Democrats and that stuff, if they were just more honest, you know, about what they were doing and what way things were going, you know, maybe I wouldn't have to do that. I don't know. But the point is, they're not honest. They're not moral. They're not godly. They're not just. They're not fair. They're trying to manipulate America. I mean, it's sickening. It's literally sickening, the garbage they come out with. It's literally sickening. These friggin' perverts. See, that's this thing around Epstein. Clinton, his name is involved in it, and I seen something here yesterday, I think, that there was a retired Democrat senator, big senator's name, he's involved, and his name popped up in it. This woman that accused Epstein of all this stuff, or these women, Women now, they were girls then, you know, who knows? Who knows how? It's hard to tell how young they got. You know, when people get pushing their sexual ecstasies and stuff, and wanting the the gold ring of sexual activity or something or other, they get to pushing this stuff. Who knows to what extent they'll go? Okay, just the way it is. You know, it's like sin has no boundaries. It has no boundaries. And they get into this stuff, and you know, you don't know that if things were to open up through your day, you don't know that there ain't been some 8-10-year-old girls carried off into that plane and that island, and who knows, maybe even younger, who knows. I mean, that's just the way it is. You know, you people say, "Oh, that's sick. I don't believe that." People, it's happening all the time, all around the world. It's happening all the time, all around the world. And here you have billion-dollar players. Don't tell me these people are above that. Don't tell me these liberals and socialists in their thinking are above that kind of activity, that kind of thinking. They are part of it. It's pitiful. It's pitiful, you know. There's just so much going on, man. And these friggin' perverts. And I do mean perverts too. I don't mean this. I don't mean that. They're perverts, people. They got their hands in perversions and they refuse to turn loose of it, to get away from it. They refuse to reject it. They play in it. They play in it like a 3 or 4-year-old kid would go in and go out in a yard and play in a an erupted septic system. The kid doesn't know any better. It's just out there playing in the water. But these people play in this stuff. Isaiah 32, Old Testament Bible, verses 5 through 8. Will tell you what the liberal thinker does. Read and understand. Read and understand. America has got to pull away from this liberal avenue of thought. We've got to get away from it. You got this leadership up there. These liberals and socialists in Washington, D.C., and in state capitals, and in our newspapers, our electronic medias, and on all this stuff. This garbage runs through their mind. This liberal, socialist garbage is pumped through their minds continually. And they're doing the same thing. They're pumping it out into the public. Why does the Democratic Party want to lessen the voting age in America? Because their trash has been pumped into the educational system for 40 years, people. More. Their immoral, godless, corrupted trash has been pumped into the minds of people for 40 plus years. Well, if they can lessen the voting age from 18 to 16, they'll pick up who knows. Well, how many students do we have in the U.S. That are between 16 and 18? How many? Well, I don't know how many. Well, I'm just going to throw in. Let's say there's a 1.3 million. Well, some of those come out of good, godly, moral, conservative homes. But they may pick up 900,000 liberal taught students to vote for them. Read Isaiah 32, 5 through 8. Let me get that. You need to hear it. You need to know, people. You need to know. You need to know what's going on in these people's minds. Verse 5. This is Isaiah 32, 5-8. Pay attention. Verse 5. The vile person will no more be called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. The vile person will no more be called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. Now I'll be adding some stuff to this. Alright, not adding as to change it, but adding to fill in, to let you know what God has spoke to me and shown me, that why he showed me this. God showed me this after the 2012 elections. Obama had gotten in office again, and we're finding out now bukus of tens of thousands of illegal votes cast. Bukus of them. Okay, so he was gotten into office fraudulently the first term, and his second term, well, the vile person will not be called liberal, nor shall the churl said to be bountiful. For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy, and to utter error against the Lord, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. The soul of the person, the inner, even beneath the conscience, behind the conscience, deeper into the person, he will cause that person to hunger and thirst, and yet that person, out of that hunger and thirst, they will be denied truth and honor and just things that will feed that person's their integrity, their honor, the things that are needed to make that person an upright, trustworthy person. They will deny those things of that person. For the vile person will speak villainy, his heart will work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy, and to utter error against the Lord, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. The liberal person, the churl, there's a footnote here, the churl is a fool, okay? The churl is a fool. The fool has said in his heart, there is no God, okay? The fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. The vile person shall no more be called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. This is verse 7. The instruments of the churl are evil. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right. The instruments of the churl are evil, the fool. The fool has said in his heart, there is no God. The instruments of the churl are evil. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words. He schemes, he plots, he conjures, he manipulates within his mind, and he comes up with things to say to those that are poor. He comes up with things to say to them that will deceive them, manipulate, and mislead them, to get out of them what he or she wants from them. The instruments of the churl are evil. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor. Okay? Watch these liberals and socialists, man. Watch them. They're painting the pictures. Look here. See this little dude back here? Back here behind me. Little Olaf back here. Look at him. Look at him. He's back here. Right back here behind me. You remember the song Olaf sung, in summer? He's got this big dream going on in his head, and it's not even friggin' possible. The old hilljacker trapper, he gets somewhere in that song, and he tells is it Elsa or the other one? I don't remember, but he tells, I'm gonna tell him. She says, you better not crush his dreams. You better not. It's not even possible What Olaf is thinking is not even possible. For a snowman to be in a 95-degree day and run around on a beach and just party hardy like nothing is wrong. Not even possible. But pay attention to these liberals and socialists. They are painting the picture to these students, these people that they've perverted their hearts and minds for years through entertainment and this and that and whatever, an educational system without God. They perverted their hearts and minds for years, and they've painted a picture in these people, a picture that is not even possible. I don't know. They think well, we're gonna live in a society where everybody drives a Mustang GT and we're all gonna live in a brick or a log cabin or something or other. It's gonna be awesome, man. We're gonna have free health care. We're gonna have everything in the world's gonna be laid right at our feet. We go, oh geez, it's gonna be awesome. It's not even friggin' possible. It's nothing but a dream. Olaf lived a dream. He was living a dream. It wasn't possible for Olaf to have what he has, what he was thinking. It wasn't possible. They ain't no friggin' dream like that, people. There's not going to be any utopia on the face of the earth. The closest you're going to get to a utopia on the face of the earth was when the Bible talks about the Lamb of God. His kingdom is set up for 1,000 years, and that's as close as you're going to get on the earth. It says they'll beat their plows and their spears and swords into plowshares. They will work the ground. There will be no war for 1,000 years. That's as close as you're going to get it on the earth. You want a utopia? Repent of your sin, go to heaven. There's your utopia. That's it. The closest you're going to get here is 1,000 years Jesus Christ is crowned king on the earth. That's just the way it is. What they're telling you is a lie. All right. Now this is verse 8. But the liberal deviseth liberal things, and by liberal things shall he stand. The liberal deviseth. Divide. You know what that means? Deviseth is to scheme it, to plot it, to conjure it up, to make it up, to bring something to life that isn't so, to devise something, to create something that isn't so. Devise is divisive, a deceptive attitude, a creepy little white lie. Okay, is to devise, divisive. But the liberal deviseth liberal things. Liberal things are things that are exclusive, things that are not honorable, that are not just, that are not decent, that are actually not fair, even though they're misled in it to make people think it is fair, but they're not fair. Listen, fair without the knowledge of right and wrong, fair without the knowledge that forms justice, a true working justice, fair without those elements is a lie. It's a lie. The liberal deviseth things. It's a lie. It's a lie. The liberal deviseth liberal things, and by liberal things shall he stand. Because he makes excuses for others, they support his treacherous, divisive, lying, scheming, plotting ways. See, that's how these liberal Democrats and socialist Democrats, that's the way these people are staying in power, because they're making excuses for the perversions that people wallow in. They're making excuses for it. This Epstein thing, if these liberal and socialists get up, if they could get it out of the face of the public and out of the cameras and everything else, they'd shut this stuff down in a heartbeat. They'd shut it down in a heartbeat, because they're going to be part of it. A bunch of them's going to be a part of it. This liberal socialist attitude and action has led these people into trouble. If an actual true justice is played out here, I'm telling you, there's going to be a bunch of them. Names, the names are popping up more and more. There's going to be a bunch of them. If they could shut this Epstein thing down, they'd shut it down. If they could shut down, they could get Donald Trump out of office. They'd get him out. They'd get rid of anybody that would support Trump and stop justice. That would support Trump and see that justice go through. They'd get rid of every freaking one of them. Look here, this who is it? One of the big news media's putting out a movie where these elitists are hunting the deplorables. I mean, just they're hunting, seeking to kill. They want to put this movie, and I seen something on it yesterday. I think it was yesterday, day before. Said they have no intentions of stopping it. Right now, they plan on pushing it through. They want to shut down the conservative, moral, godly voice. They want to shut down that voice of honor that tries to implement things that keep people healthy, alive, families together. They want to shut it down. These liberals are liars, they're schemers, they're plotters. They do treacherous, trashy things. They have gotten by with this stuff for years. They've gotten by with it for years. They wallow in the perversions, and they refuse to reject it. They refuse to cast it off. They refuse to repent. They have turned themselves into the perversion that they wallow in. They have turned themselves into the pervert that commits the perversion. You know, they'll talk about a man that will rape a little girl or a little boy, or a woman that would do it too, but more they say the man that they talk about. They call him the pervert. These liberals are committing their own perversions. They are committing their own pervert actions and activities. That's what this talks about. These liberals. The vile person will no more be called a liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. For the vile person will speak villainy, his heart will work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy, to utter error against the Lord, and to make empty the soul of the hungry, to make the soul of man that longs for something firm to believe in, something to trust in, something to hold on to other than what the liberals and the socialists and the perverts of the world want to give him. And the man is looking for something that he can believe in, that he can trust in, that he can hope in. And he will make the soul of the hungry. He will make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. This liberal socialist garbage is being fed into people's minds, painting them a picture that is not attainable. It is not attainable. It is not attainable. You can't. It's not possible. It's not possible. I put comments and stuff on Facebook on different walls and stuff, and they'll come back. Some of them come back, man. They call me everything in the world. Some of them just come out. I put a post on once about Marxism being pushed through the system and all this stuff, and these liberals and socialists, all this rotten stuff they're coming up with. And I brought it out and I talked about Marxism and stuff. This fella come right up front and just curse me, just unreal. I mean, there's others do it, but this person in particular, I don't hate him, I don't despise him. It's just what he done. It's just what he done. I jerked the cover. I jerked the cover off what he believed. I jerked the cover off what he was pushing. I jerked the cover off it, and I talked about it, and he come back and cursed me. It was in a comment, a reply. But he come back and just called me old vulgar stuff. I mean, these people, it's unreal what's going on in these minds of these people. It is unreal, people. You know, I've told people some of them, they just can't wrap their little pea brain around it. But this is no longer, this is not political. Don't let these people tell you this is political. It's not political, people. This is right versus wrong, wrong versus right. These people are pushing and upholding perversions that steal the life from others to satisfy themselves. These liberals, they cannot be free and do anything they want to think and act and look, smell and walk and talk. They can't do all this stuff. They can't do all this stuff without hurting other people. It's impossible. They want the right to rape and mutilate and lie and cheat other people. That's the only way they can get what they want. They may not tell you that. They may not want to admit it to themselves. But the only way they can get what they want to satisfy this devilish desires and wants and cravings within them, this want to pat their pride, pat their vile back. The only way they can do that, they have to rob it from somebody else. It has to be taken from the innocent. It has to be taken from the honest, the upright. It has to be taken from the helpless. That's the only way they can get what they want. They have to steal it from somebody else. You cannot have more than your fair share without you take it from somebody else. You cannot have $1 million. It don't grow on trees. You're going to have to take it from somebody else. You're going to have to figure out a way to get other people to give it to you, or you got to steal it. Whether they buy your merchandise, your product, or whatever, or whether you just robbed them. That is what a liberal thinker is. It's a thief. It's a lying thief. A lying thief. The Bible says the devil cometh but to steal, kill, and destroy. Okay? A liberal is a thief. A lying thief. This Democratic debate and stuff, so help me. I mean, it's like, to me, I look at these people and knowing what the Bible says about the liberal thinker and the things that they do, I look at these people and you just will let these people drop their drawers, go across the platform and put a big pile of poop up, and then let people walk around and compare them, seeing which one's the ugliest or prettiest, or which one smells good or stinks. And I'm sorry. This it's a friggin' mess. It's a mess. It's a sewer. It's a sewer. It's a sewer to listen to these liberals and socialists on these platforms spitting out all this garbage, and everything in the world is Trump's fault. Kamala Harris said, well, people will be able to keep their private insurance and stuff. You know, I didn't watch debates, but I've heard others talking about it and stuff on the news and just different places. And said that, but then she gets on CNN and she's talking, and this CNN news reporter, caster, whatever, that was interviewing her, pressed her a little bit, and she admitted, well, they might have to give it up. It's supposed to be retainable. It's supposed to be able to keep our insurance, our private insurance. Well, they might have to give it up. Why do you listen to them? Why do you listen to these people? These people are lying cheats, man. They're going to strip you of what is rightfully yours and give it to everybody else. Maybe give it to everybody else. The Clintons went out during the Haiti, was a tsunami or hurricane or something went through Haiti and destroyed the place, man. wreaked havoc. Clintons went out. The Clinton Foundation went out. They garnered, what was it, $4 billion to help in Haiti. And now we find out Haiti didn't get it. I don't know how much they got, but they definitely didn't get $4 billion. Where did it go? Well, who knows? The federal government, 2017, give how many billion was it to Baltimore? And this is under the Trump administration. They said Trump wasn't helping. The Trump administration to give Baltimore how many? A bunch of billions of dollars. They know now. You know what they find out now? They find out that millions of dollars, man, just went poof. From what I can gather, there's no documentation or anything to prove where these millions of dollars went. Man, just went poof, just disappeared. Well, Baltimore's ran by a liberal representative. Another one of those that, what did I read? Chicago's ran by liberals and Democrats. You got this city out there in California run Nancy Pelosi and the friggin' liberal Democrats, man. Or socialist Democrats, whatever you want to call them. You got this liberal socialist governor out there in Virginia wanting to sign a bill in to abort a child up into birth. You got this friggin' rot going on in these people's minds. Maybe, you know, who knows where this money goes. People, it's in their minds. That's what I'm trying to get you to realize. That's what you need to know. I'm trying to get you to realize the character that lies in behind liberal socialist thinking. I'm trying to get you to realize that this liberal avenue is a lying, scheming, cheating, exclusive avenue of thought. This, you know, you can look at them and say, well, I disagree with this, I disagree with this, I'm almost agreeable with this, but you can't do that. You have to connect the dots with these people. You have to recognize what lies in the background. What's the Word of God say? The Word of God says, from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. What is in the heart will eventually come out. You know, I say some ugly things sometimes. I even spit out words sometimes that I don't enjoy saying those words. I don't enjoy, you know, I'll say the word nigger. Oh, he said nigger. They go nuts. They go nuts because they were told to go nuts. They were trained to go nuts. But I said it for a purpose. I said it for the right reason. I said it for people to realize that godly, moral, conservative people do not think of a nigger as a black man to be controlled. They think of him as a person that was controlled, but now is no longer controlled under freedom and liberty and justice for all America. He's no longer a nigger in a cotton field. He's a man or a woman living their life. He's no longer that busted, broken back nigger in a cotton field. He's a man or a woman in America, in a nation of hope and promise, living their life, man, under a democratic ran system that gives people hopefully a fair shot. It's not a golden ring put around your neck or that you just handed to you, that you step out your front door and everybody bows and gives you the world. But it gives you a shot. Hopefully the doors will open that you can make a decision and step through this door and things will go well, you'll prosper doing it. But not everybody gets to. The door may be there, but yet something there stops the prosperity. These people out there bust their buns, man, all their life. And they bust their buns all their life. And yet they drive a used vehicle, and yet they struggle to make ends meet. Democracy is not a gold ring that's handed out to everybody, and it's not exactly that democracy doesn't want people, doesn't decide who prospers and who doesn't, as socialism does. Socialism picks its winners, it picks its losers. Democracy doesn't do that, or it's not supposed to. But democracy is not a gold ring handed to you. Democracy gives you the option, gives you a choice, if carried out properly. And we try to carry it out properly, but you look at what liberals and socialists have been planting into the educational system and into the medias for 50, 75 years. And now we see it, it's coming out, it's on their lips now. We're going to cut off the options, baby. The options are no more. We're going to decide for you. And that's the way, it's socialism, man. Liberal is cheat. Socialism is unfair. Socialism is a cruel, unfair government. Liberal is nothing but a lying cheat. A lying, stealing cheat. You've got to recognize what lies in the character and behind the character of liberal thinkers. They attacked Donald Trump. He has done listen, Donald Trump, he's not the perfect man before he got in office. We all knew it. We all knew it. He when he was campaigning, and this audio come out about Trump talking about women let you fondle them or handle them or somewhere. The women don't care, but that's what he said, something like that. But then people start condemning him, and he said, "I never told you I was perfect. I never made you some guarantee or give you guarantee that I was an angel." He came out in front. He didn't deny his wrong. He didn't deny his wrong. He said, "I'm not perfect. I'm a man." The American people believed him, got behind him, put him in office big. They put him in office big. And right now it looks like he's going to go into office the next term bigger. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. But they blame him for anything at all goes wrong. Oh, Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that. Everything in the world. Bill Mayer, man, I hope the economy crashes so we get rid of Trump. I mean, who would believe a friggin' idiot like that would even stoop the low to say something that absurd? But, oh God. Bill Mayer. Our recession be good. Anything get Trump out of. You know, it is literally pitiful, the things that have been said. They blame Trump for violence. Trump, he hasn't pushed violence. He's pushed for people to come to front and center and answer for their actions. That's what he's pushing for. He's pushing for people, hey, face up to your own friggin' words and actions. These liberals, you look, man, these socialists, man, they attack people, Antifa, Trump rallies, you had these Bernie Sanders supporters come out there raising a ruckus outside these Trump rallies and attacking people and everything in the world going on. And now they get out there and they march around Mitch McConnell's house and screaming stuff out at him. And then he takes a video of him. Twitter suspends his or blocks his Twitter account. But I found out now that the GOP page or the GOP party has pulled their advertisements off Twitter because Twitter, they attacked Mitch McConnell. GOP pulled their advertisements, and rightfully so. These friggin' people, I've told you before, you better watch these friggin' big tech companies. You better watch them. Listen, the Bible talks about the time the Antichrist will come into power. When he comes into power, that he is going to have an eye on everybody. Everybody will be seen by him. You better watch these big tech companies. Now we see more and more that Facebook and Twitter and Google and others, they've actually been censoring conservative people, just basically honorable, decent, truthful, respectful people. They're restricting their voice, and they're turning this friggin' lying, scheming, cheating liberal voice loose, letting it run wild. And yet they want to shut the truthful, the honest, the decent, the respectful. They want to shut their mouth. That's what you got to watch about these friggin' perverts. There's nothing kosher. Listen to me, people. There is nothing kosher to the liberal thinker. That is not kosher what they want to do. It is not good. I don't want to ramble. I just want to push. Just want you to realize. I want you to realize what these friggin' liberal socialists, basically the very, very, very huge majority of Democrats, I want you to realize what they are. I want you to realize what they are. I want you to realize what their words, their thinking, their attitudes, their intentions are against you, your family, and your bloodline. Whether you realize or not, they are against you. They are against you having a voice. They are against you having a choice. They are against you having a vote. They are against you, actually, they are against your prosperity. They are against the fairness and the just outcomes for your family. Liberal socialist thinking is a curse upon humanity. It's a curse upon society. These people are vile. They do ugly things. A lot of people say, you're not supposed to judge. I'll tell you what, you don't get your head out of your butt and make a righteous judgment today, tomorrow your family is going to curse you because you sat on your puss and let a bunch of perverts piss all over them. Get your head out of your butt. Majority of America is behind Donald Trump. We are. We just are. You got people out there that are threatening. They're threatening the deplorables that back Trump. They're threatening us now. They're coming right out with threats. Do you hear me? They're coming right out with threats against us. I've told you before and I'll tell you again. Arm yourself, America. Perverts will not give you a choice. Arm yourself, America. Perverts will not give you a choice. Listen, they're running the streets. They're up and down the roads all the time. And if you do not arm yourself, they will one day break through your door. And you will be at the mercy of people that have already made up their minds they will do whatever it takes to satisfy themselves. They're perverts. Arm yourself. Arm yourself. They're wanting to bring this red flag law up. Well, as much as I hate to think it, because these shootings shouldn't even be taking place. This is brainless rot, man. Hatred filling the heart and mind of individuals, and they're doing things that it's unthinkable. And I hate the thought of having to use a red flag, but we've got to do something. These perverts have got to be stopped. They've got to be stopped. They'll say, well, we'll take guns, everybody. Well, if you take everybody's guns, then the pervert that's in D.C. will do their good. They will do their evil against us. So we can't take everybody's gun. That's senseless. That's brainless to think that. It's brainless. I mean, you think that, you ain't got two decent brain cells rubbing together between your ears. You're brainless. But something's got to be done. Red flag laws may have to have a week or so background check. For those of you that are not armed and you know you're a decent person, you're not trying to lie and cheat and steal and mutilate and rape and murder everybody else, go get your gun now. Go buy you a gun now. While you can just go up there, they can run a background check on what is already in the system. They'll know whether you're an upright, decent person or whether you're a thug. You can get your gun now. You can get it approved within 30 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. You can get it approved. Get your gun now. Just go do it. Just go do it. Get you one. Buy all the shells you can. Get you, if you can afford 2,000 rounds of shells for your gun, get it. Lay it back. Because of these perverts get their way. In the lawmakers and stuff, if these perverts get their way, one day you're going to need it. I'm telling you, one day you'll need it. Your family will need it. You'll need it. If you don't, your family will not have a voice. They will not have a choice. Your family will need it. If those liberal socialists get to rule the roost, you've had a bad friggin' day. You've had a bad day. Buy your gun now. You know you'll pass a background check. Go ahead and go out there and buy you a gun. You can buy these compact pistols, 9mm, 38s. You can get others, but get you something at least as big as a 9 or a 380, which is a little bit smaller than 9mm. Get you a 380 or maybe 9mm, and buy you some hollow point cartridges for it, because they have more stopping power. Go ahead and do it. While your name is clear, and you can go up there and you can get they do a little a check. They can do it electronically and know within minutes if your accountability to be safe with a gun is upright. They'll know in minutes. And just go ahead and do it, and get your gun, get you some cartridges. If you will, if you can get into a class to where they can teach you your gun and teach you how to use it safely and honorably and morally, do it. Just do it. You need that. You need that today in America, and the need is getting greater and greater by the day, because perversions are now lying and cheating and stealing, and they show no remorse. They show no regard. They show no moral conscience toward it. They are cheating and lying and stealing daily. Just do it. I love you. I don't want you to cry, man. I don't want you to hurt. I don't want some friggin' deviant kicking your door down or busting your head when you're walking through a parking lot. I don't want that happening to you. Hey, I don't. Hey, shoot, if a friggin' pervert comes at you with a knife, I'm going to tell you, pull that friggin' 9mm and pop him right in the pow. Put him down, son. You not only save your life, but you'll save the lives of who knows how many more. Put the friggin' thing down. Put him down. I don't want you hurt. I don't want you raped. I don't want you killed. You know, put them down. It sounds hard, but hey, they're the ones crossing the boundaries. It's not you. Don't let those friggin' perverts tell you you're the one in the wrong. You're not the one in the wrong. You are the one that respects. You are the one that honors. You are the one that treats fairly. You are the one that treats honorably. Buy you a gun. Buy you some cartridges. Buy you a gun. Buy you, if you can just get one box of shells today, get it. Go to the range. Get someone. Talk to somebody, a friend, a neighbor, someone that has a gun that knows how to handle it. Talk to them. Talk to them. Get them to go take you to the range and show you how to handle that thing. Learn to use it. Then when you can, maybe next month, buy you 2 more boxes. Maybe 2 months down the road, buy you 5 more boxes. But buy you some backup, man. Buy you some strength. Buy you some protection. Do it. Do it now before these friggin' perverts. Listen, if they can get this red flag law in, they nudge the system back a little bit more. They nudge the Second Amendment back a little bit more. They nudge the First Amendment back a little more. They nudge it. They nudge it. I'm gonna close this off because I could go on with this rot that these people's committed and lied and cheated for friggin' years. I could go on and on and on because it is, this disgrace, people, is unreal. It's literally got to the point it's unreal that you see their actions and you hear their words and I look at them and I say, how in the freaking hell did it get this way? How did they get this far with this? It's unreal. It's pitiful. People, it is pitiful that on the streets of America this stuff is taking place and these people show no remorse for their lying and cheating and stealing and they're getting by with it. All right, I told you I was going to cap it off. I'm going to tell you where I'm at. I told you I was going to add stuff to the Isaiah 32, 5-8. Now here it is. Here it is. Driving a coal truck. I'm going to back up this far. Driving a coal truck down here a few years ago. I'm riding around the hill one day. The Lord speaks to me and said, they're crashing your economy. Well, now crash can mean, well, this or that, accidentally, intentionally, whatever. But, you know, they're crashing your economy. A few weeks later, he speaks to me again in the coal truck. You're being subdued. Well, now, they're crashing your economy and you're being subdued. But that, when you connect the two, it leaves something open. It tells you something. There was a thing called Cloward and Piven. Obama was in office when the Lord spoke that to me. Cloward and Piven is Obama's friend in school said Obama looked into Cloward and Piven. He looked into Cloward and Piven. Cloward and Piven says you can overburden the economy of America and bring it down. Bring it down. You can overburden it. You can cause them to default, to bankrupt. Okay, all right. Now after 2012 elections, Obama gets back into office. A few days later, I don't remember exactly how long, I would go to sit down and read the Bible some, and I said, Lord, just give me what you know, what everybody else thinks, but what you know, that's what I want to know. I don't want to know what all these other people think. What do you know? Okay, I read, and I had a bunch of, here's my Bible. I had a bunch of little pieces of paper, little corners sticking out in my Bible. Bunch of little corners sticking out in it. You know, where I'd tear a corner off of a Magic Mark paper or the wife's her band catalog. I'd tear a corner. I'd stick it in there where I'd been reading because I wanted to go back to it. But anyway, I cleaned it out since then. But I had a few. But I just opened up a piece of paper. I didn't know where it was opened up. And that's where I opened up Isaiah 32, 5 through 8. That's when the Lord had showed me that. That's when the Lord had showed me that. Now, what I read to you about the liberal and the churl. All right. Now, here about maybe 2-3 years ago, I'm sitting on my side porch out here during the morning in the spring or summer, you know, the weather's warming up. I'm sitting out there on the side porch and I'm wolfing down my breakfast, just enjoying the grindage. And when I didn't even think about this, my mind wasn't even on this stuff. And the Lord spoke one word to me. Legitimacy. Legitimacy. Up out of the blue, that word. And I've been chewing this word. And then through the day, as I ponder this word more and more, then I begin to realize what he was doing. He was putting a cap on Isaiah 32, 5 through 8. He was putting a cap on their crashing your economy. You're being subdued. He was putting a cap on it. He's letting me know they have garnered legitimacy. They're lying, they're cheating, they're stealing, their corruption, the rot, the treachery, the treason. All this stuff has become acceptable in the minds of many people. They have accepted the corruption of the liberal and the churl. They've accepted the rot, the cheating, the plotting, the scheming, the treachery. They've accepted it. Millions have accepted it. But you and I cannot accept it. We've got to cut it off. Our families and our bloodlines depend upon us. They depend upon you and I to keep the honor of America up front, to keep the word of America, the just outcomes of America. They depend on you and I to keep those just outcomes up front. Hey, have a good one. Old John, I'm going to cut this off. I know it's gotten long. Like I said, I could go on with this on and on and on as this stuff comes to mind, this sewer. As the swamp's sewer comes to mind, I could go on and on and on with it. Have a good one. I hope you find grace and mercy and favor in the eyes of the Lord, and he just fills you with wonderful, wonderful, wonderful things, because he is able. I can't. I can tell you some good stuff. The Bible says I'm an exhorter. I can tell you some good stuff, but man, I can't give you what God does. Have a good